is no shade to Dunkin' Donuts. Y'all have really great hash browns. Like your hash browns are great, but
be Dunkin' hash browns then, because your donuts.
your name Dunkin' Donuts. Y'all need to remove the donut at the back because that's not.
But they did. It's just Dunkin'. Remember?
That's what it needs.
But what are we dunking? Like what are we dunking?
You need to dunk the donut so it can be edible.
That I normally see is like, oh, well, I went to this restaurant and this waitress was so mean to me, so I'm never going back. Babes, McDonald's, every time you go in that line, their ice cream machine isn't working.
Every time.
And you keep going into the line.
And asking for ice cream. Damn well that machine down. And if it ain't down, they ain't clean.
But do that mean we should excuse the behavior?
No, I feel like we should give the same grace that we give McDonald's, Starbucks, Denny's, IHOP. Like when you walk into Walt Disney World and you meet one cast member that doesn't have a great attitude, you don't say, I'm never going back to Disney.
I'm never going to Disney.
Yeah.
You never hear anybody say, I'm never going to Disney because I met one person that did.
I'll be back next year.
Same time, same ticket price.
With more family.
And if we want to get into like the fact that like if we're ever gonna move forward with this whole Black unity thought,
come on,
it has to be some sense of like grace, number one, and number two, some sense of support when it comes to us. Because I feel like with us, we are quick to be like, "Hey, that's wrong."
Mm-hmm.
But if you know it's wrong, how can we provide a solution? Right? Like, how can we get better?
That's why I like that Keith Lee guy. Love him because he gives the most constructive criticism. He's very honest. He's never hateful. He always puts in there, go see for yourself. I'm no food critic. I'm no professional. These are just my personal opinions. This is my personal experience. And the thing about it is, like you were saying, because Keith Lee mostly frequents Black-owned businesses, but he frequents and he gives everybody love. And my problem is when it comes to us dealing with us, we don't extend that grace. It's always that's why I don't even mess with ninjas. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you'll go over there and give Le Pew Pew all your money to give you some snails and you don't even eat snails. But because they ain't clean their grease, get last night.
He ate down on my city. He
Atlanta. He ate
rumbled
it in his stomach and then threw it back out. I was like, oh my
God. But see, they focused on his negative ones. They didn't focus on the ones
that
made their business triple in 2-3 days. They just harped on, he went into such and such.
But also, being an Atlantean, I feel like he went to the places that's popular. If you go somewhere,
that's the old lady gang was one thing that, like, when I saw that he reviewed the old lady gang, I already knew that it was going to be something. Because when we went to Atlanta and tried to go to the old lady gang, it was like, this is a small space for an abundance of like this. It's a lot of people with a small space. However, because the name behind it is Candy's name, a lot of people immediately are like, you did something wrong. It's magnified because you should know how to run a restaurant. And it's like, okay, but do we ever go back and run it back and do that to McDonald's?
Do we? No, we don't.
We go to McDonald's and say you should know that you need to have an ice cream machine. Like we don't allow. We
don't put them at the same standard as we do these small businesses, and I think that is just absolutely wrong for the simple fact that, number one, these are conglomerates. These are world-known national chains. You're trying to compare an apple to an apple orchid. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that even work? You want to put the little small Black-owned business or the small business to the same standard as somebody who has $1 million and $1 trillion backing? Common sense, it clearly ain't that common.
Or if we take it a step further, us pitting people head to head, right?
Yes.
And my biggest thing, like now, is like female empowerment in music. And you have the girl who on my mama, on my hood, the one that remixed that, Victoria Monet.
Mm-hmm.
At every chance we get, we try to make this big comparison of Victoria Monet, Beyonce, this person, Beyonce, this person, Beyonce, this person, Nicki Minaj, this, and in my head, I'm like, it's okay to have two people at the top. It's okay to have a bunch of us
Yeah,
at the top.
right.
Like we can
But I
all be
like
at the
morale.
top. But we focusing on this crabs in a bucket effect where we're trying to just pull each other down. And it's like, yeah, no, we don't have to do that. Like most of all, it should be us collaborating over us being in constant competition with each other.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I think it's because like, media press, that's what gets people riled up. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
What can get a rise out of people? Them two beefing, these people beefing, but not the music, not the artistry. That's not
especially if we dive into like the real reason why Cardi B and Nicki Minaj have beef is because of the fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the beef is not over anything solid. The beef is just two fan bases.
I hate
that's
that.
it.
Because at the end of the day, I'm speaking to all the Barbs and all the Cardi B fans. At the end of the day, your support writes their checks.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't getting no money from that, baby. Y'all be out here beat down, ready to go through a whole turf war about some music. Because
they ain't even right.
They ain't right, and they don't even really live. Let's keep it a being for real. Like I don't cook, I don't clean. You do though.
You do both.
You do
actually. Like
you do, and you mother, and you run up behind your husband too recently. Like it's fiction. It's like storytelling. It's like acting. Like that's what I don't like about the music today. Like back then, they really talked about that. Like they were actual lyricists. They told stories. Like you could listen to raps and you could envision a whole storyboard. And like I miss that. Now everybody rap about the same thing. So why y'all all mad? Who cares who at the top? Y'all all saying the same shit.
And then we don't put the support and love into those who are actually creating good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think when I say stuff like that, I think of like the HBCU effect, right? Mm-hmm. HBCUs. When you hear that somebody donates to an HBCU, you're gonna hear Howard, you're gonna hear Spelman, you're going to hear Southern, you're gonna hear Grant, like you're gonna specific names. The money are the names that are constantly given to, right? Mm-hmm. And you have places that are HBCUs that are making waves that don't have as many bodies as North Carolina A&T. They don't have as many bodies as FAMU, but because they don't have the quantity, we are saying they don't have the quality. And for me, we can't move forward as a community until we literally address the fact that if you're Black and you make it, you don't have to give to the same. You need to pave a different way of giving back. You can't, if everybody gives back to Howard, right? Every celebrity pumps money through Howard. You have 50 other HBCUs that are getting nothing.
Right.
Because, baby, when I tell you for the longest, and this is just a transparency moment, for the longest, I thought there were only like maybe a dozen HBCUs because those were the only ones I ever heard of. Like I went to Southern because I lived in Baton Rouge. I went to Glen Oaks High, which is like baby Southern. Like everybody from Glen Oaks High band wanted to be in a jukebox. We was the baby jukebox. So just naturally, that's where I went. But like I knew about, like Spelman and Morehouse. I knew about twos and fews, like literally a dozen. When I got to doing my college applications and trying to apply for grants, I was like, wait, that's a HBCU? What? I got to about 25 and I said, yo, this is correct. Why is the revolution not televised?
And that's the tea. That's the tea on today's whole episode. Like to televise this revolution, There's a lot of steps that like we choose to not see, right? Because it's not like they're not there. We
Right.
choose to not see these steps that are needed for us to advance as a community, right? And my biggest one is recognizing there's talent and pouring into, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times we can say, "Oh yeah, that's cool. That was a cool little one too," but we don't pour into
Little
it.
razzle
Like
dazzle.
the one place that like I love to like this effect is there is the Houston Museum of African American Culture. If you have not been, you need to go now.
You
Right
might.
now, they're funded by donations, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you have this black museum that is in the middle of the community, bringing artists in, bringing everybody in so they can create this programming that benefits us. But we're looking at the donation box like, yeah, no.
Hmm.
The math is not math. It's not mathing right now.
Because if 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 + 2 is yeah, it's not. But is that completely the fault of the masses? Because are these smaller or unknown, just for lack of a better word, HBCUs, are they doing their due diligence to make their presence known?
And that is what is pivotal, right? Because if you have one thing that I am not a fan of is certain HBCUs making themselves small in the presence of larger HBCUs. So I went to the Kings and Queens HBCU conference. And in the beginning of the conference, if you're a new school, right, they just say you're gonna get X amount of seconds to introduce yourself. Right? So if you're a smaller school, you're sitting there like introduction, yeah, this is who we are. Then you have Howard come in, and Howard's like, I am from the da 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 da, and they're giving their spiel. They got like a Dreamgirls theme going at it, right?
I think the small ones gotta have that energy.
And everybody after them, they're very like, oh my God, Howard just did that. I know
that. We're from such and such school, and hi. Nah, like you're never gonna get nobody there. Like, I don't care if that's like me, I can hold a tune. I ain't no singer, but I can hold a tune. That's like me going behind Beyonce. I know I ain't no worldwide star, but I know I can hold a note, and Beyonce ain't me, and I ain't Beyonce. But some I'm going to resonate with somebody. Some people don't want to go to the most popular schools. Some people like to kind of be under the grain. Some people like to have that opportunity for more scholarships, more what they call them, the work studies and stuff.
Internship.
When you go to those real popular ones, it makes it a little bit more difficult because the competition is so fierce. And it's not saying that you're trying to dim your light or do less, so go to a lesser, quote unquote. How is it lesser? They got the same funding and the same accreditations, correct? Sign me up for that little small one, baby.
Because I love me a small environment.
Me too.
Okay, I can't. Like, I think about this a lot because I'm from Atlanta, so every time I be like, "Oh, I went to Benny." Why you ain't go to Spelman? What about Spelman?
I didn't want to go to Spelman.
Spelman is big. Spelman is big. Ain't nobody doing all that, girl. And then also, I need to get out of Atlanta, but that's another story for another day. But this idea, like, I don't know, how do I say this? The hierarchies that lie within the Black community, I feel like it's that trickle effect where they be like, oh, well, if we give to such and such, then that'll help you out. No, it don't.
Houseway.
Ronald Reagan, that don't work. Now what?
And then due to a lot of people, they be looking at me crazy when I say it, but like the lasting effects of slavery is real. It's real. Because we've created an internal hierarchy that is based off of white standards, right? So at that point,
wasn't even meant for us.
And the standards weren't even meant for us. Anybody who is on here that has not read the William Lynch letter,
please do
ASAP. Because when you go back into that the handbook, basically the blueprint of how
Mm-hmm.
to construct a slave and make a slave
Mm-hmm.
listen
Mm-hmm.
to you and all of that. A lot of what the media does today to black people is in that book,
It
just
word
not
for word.
in
I swear to God.
bar for bar,
Mhm.
word for word. And the biggest thing is we internalize and we create this hierarchy to where if you are, the biggest thing that I see is if you're an artist, you're supposed to let us in your business. No,
Because who said that?
no. If you're an artist, you're supposed to post that you gave this much to the homeless people that live under. No, like at that point, it's for show.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry. I gotta say it. Once your intentions are for accolades, it loses its luster. Like, yeah, that person may still benefit from it, but what you're seeking, you're not gonna get on a spiritual level whatsoever. Like, yeah, they were like, oh yeah, he got $10,000. What is $10,000 when you got $1 billion? That's pennies. Yeah, no. Now me giving $100, knowing I'll be having $107 once I finish paying bills, that's major. Because baby, I done gave the bulk, and then me not telling everybody, me doing that in silence. You move in silence when you're not looking for a pat on the back or oh girl, yeah, you did that. I don't need that. This was strictly because that's what's pulling your heart to do. I feel like when they go out their way to be seen, like I don't,
And
it gives me the ick.
one black celebrity that does it really well is J. Cole.
He's
Because
so funny. I love him.
they tore him to pieces during the Black Lives Matter movement. Because they were like, how can you speak this way and you don't give? And then the truth
I don't
came
know what
out.
I do.
The truth came out, and he's donating to the family of victims
Mm-hmm.
personally. He's getting a Christmas list of kids that were affected that no longer have their parents due
Yep.
to police brutality. And granting that, like, a lot of the groundwork that he did came out afterwards, but he did it right.
And he did.
So
He's not the one who said it. That's the thing. They exposed him. He's still he stand on business and he handles stuff in secret. He moves in silence because he don't need all that, and that's why he's continually blessed. Oh,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Cause y'all know white people be white peopling, colonizing, creating systems, telling you who's important and who's not important. Whole time
Right.
they not important, and now we don't even know why we listening to them.
and the
Because I
big
don't.
my big thing, y'all, I looked on TikTok. Y'all know I be up on TikTok
Girl,
watching
you
the
know that's my
hamster
stuff too.
early in the morning, and I swiped from my little hamster feed to this other video of this
Y'all
Here
got to
man.
she
see this.
go. Here she
And
Please,
go.
please insert the hamster feed.
Please.
I am, because y'all didn't see how common the hamster feed is.
Please
Right
insert
after that TikTok was this man who said that the first round of student loan debt payment came out. And as a collective, nobody paid their student loan debt. So it forced America to say, well, we're going to push it back. And his big T of it all
Baby,
was,
you're gonna push that back to Methuselah come back.
and for me, as the black community, if we all stand in unity,
Hell no, we won't pay. Hell no, we won't pay.
like, especially when it comes to the student loan debt, but like if we
Get
are,
somebody else to pay it.
We seen Grad here on the repay save plan. Make me the poster child. Because you're not getting
if
nothing from
God
me.
don't do it, it won't get done.
It won't.
But
I
if
can't stop. I
we
can't stop God's will, and He has not willed me to do such as of
if
now.
we come together
Mhm.
and be like, no, yeah, this is how we're moving, and going back to like the original like circulation of the black dollar, if
Yeah,
we make a, because it happens in other communities,
it
in
does.
other communities, they are going to circulate their dollar. Like it's statistics on them circulating their dollar longer
10,
than the black
15,
dollar.
16 times over before any other community sees their dollars. They do not play about self. And that's the problem. We are not selfish enough as a community. We're
Mhm.
not. we allow too many outside entities to dictate how we move amongst each other, and it's always this competition. A competition of what? We come from the same background. We come from the same womb. If you just being realistic about it, like y'all could never be my competition, because when y'all win, I win.
We all win. Like it's not no question mark. Like it's like no, we all gonna win. And if something is not your cup of tea, as the old folks would say, if you don't have nothing nice to say,
don't say it at all.
At all, right? So before you decide, hey, I'm gonna go and blast this coffee shop that had one girl in it who was real rude because she was backed up because it's a small black owned business, before you decide to immediately say, you know, I'm rating you 0 stars because of that, and I'm putting it on social media. Right. Think about that. Like, think about the fact that a lot of your experiences you can give somebody a one-on-one conversation about. Like,
because did you go in and ask her how her day was? Did you ask her? Are you? I see you kind of overwhelmed. Is everything okay? You need to talk about anything? Can I wipe a table for you? But see, that's too selfless for y'all. We got to get back to the old ways of our people. Everybody learned from us. Let's just be honest about it. We taught people how to do hygiene. We taught the masses. So we have to get back to loving on each other and uplifting one another, as opposed to always looking at each other as competition, or if they get ahead, I ain't gonna be ahead. Why we can't all just make it to the finish line together? Right. I don't care if you make it 2.5 seconds before me. Did I make it?
What's yours is mine, and what's mine is
yours. It's yours. So diving like deeper into the thought process of this revolution, right? Mm-hmm. We have to think about it ourselves and work on ourselves, right? Because you're only as strong as your weakest person, right? Mm-hmm. And if we're the weak person, like if
we the people
of the United States, like if we are the weak
at this point, we the third world country.
If we're the weak people in the chain, right? Mm-hmm. We can look at my biggest thing to tell people, because people just believe that voting is just horrible. Like, why would I vote? What's the point of voting? And what I always tell people is, in Texas, we have one of the youngest. I think he ran for judge down here, but he wouldn't get the place that he gets to change anything if there wasn't a group of people to vote for him.
Facts.
Right? And a lot of times we blame the system. However, we are not supporting those who are trying to get in the system to deconstruct what is there.
Because the system is what the system is, and there is no way to change that from the outside. And I don't know why people don't understand. And I've been one that battled back and forth with the whole voting situation. Like, they're gonna put who they want up in there anyway, but they will to a degree, because you can only be so blatant with the disrespect before people gonna be like, so you just ain't gonna listen to us at all. Okay, so we finna passport that thing up and go somewhere else.
Look at Ohio. They removed Trump off their ballot quickly.
Okay. It was like it was written in pencil, and they came with the biggest ass pink eraser.
Back and forth, scrubbing, because once you know, like, hey, this is the right, this is what I got, then we can fight. And then the second piece of that puzzle is supporting those who are fighting. Hello? Right? Like,
hello, because you done got them on the ballot. Now, could you please put in a little circle, please?
And it's so important, because even if you don't deem yourself as, get out in the streets and do this and do that, there's so many other things that can be done to contribute. Yeah. And it's important that we do so, because we have to, like you said, support each other. We have to uplift each other. And it's going to take everybody, not just the ones on the street. We got to...
And educate yourself. Inform yourself. Don't... Hearsay is not, no, hearsay ain't always the best ticket. Like, Somebody, everything is subjective to self anyway. So even if you hear something from somebody else, you might interpret that thing a whole different way. So go find out for yourself. Like these candidates, you hear what they about, dig deep and find out for yourself. Like this is our livelihood. We got to live. We got to live here. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like
some
for
days
real.
you have to tap into your Angela Davis. Some days you have to tap into your Shakur family.
Come on.
Some days you got to tap into your Malcolm X, right? Because and especially let me. Some days you got to tap into that Huey P. Newton.
Don't make
And
me turn
the
into
reason
that.
why I say Huey P. Newton is you use what you have to bring awareness to what you know and promote the community, right? So everybody right now is more than likely watching this on their phone, right? If you're a part of the community that we've built, you type this on your phone, right? Which in your phone you have access to media. That media, if you just own media, scrolling and looking at hamsters, then you know what I mean. Just scrolling, looking at hamsters, you can easily you can easily decide, hey, today I'm going to speak out about genocide. Today I'm going to, like, there's certain things that it's cute to follow respectability politics, but if you're not being respected in the politics, what are you respecting for?
Child. A word was said.
8 down.
A word was said.
Left no crumbs.
At this point of the movement, we all have to do our due diligence of like, hey, I am black before I am anything. Anything, right? Because if the police pull you over today,
that's what they see. You're black.
It doesn't matter if you're black.
You're not in the LGBTQI. You're not a woman. You're not a man. You're not a child. You're not an elderly. You are melanated skin.
And you are stripped down to just being black, right? Yes. So at the end of the day, there are some things that we have to do because that's who we are. Like, there's no amount of perm that you can put on your hair to make you white. And like, that's not nothing against my perm girlies. Y'all be eating it up. Y'all be eating up real bad. But there's no amount of perm. No amount of perm. Like, there's no amount of, oh, I got 18 white friends. No amount of that can remove you from being black.
From your blackness.
Right.
There's no secondary to that. You are. And that's something to be celebrated and embraced. And I know that this particular country ain't with the times yet, but those who are last shall be first. Remember that. Come on. We are the architect. We built America. Let's just be honest. Everything is on our ancestors' backs. So y'all got to learn to have some pride in this thing. Y'all got to have pride when our sisters and brothers are out here making these businesses. If they falling short, constructive criticism. Don't be critical. People in critical conditions tend to move in very sporadic ways. No, we want to uplift each other and have growth within our communities. I don't need you beating my back end. Society and the world that we live in do that enough. I don't need that from my own. Embrace me. You can correct me, but correct me in love. And that's where we be falling short. Y'all want to come with the rah-rah all the time. Your whole message just got lost in translation because who you talking to?
Be real.
Right.
I'm just saying, yeah, we gotta do better with each other before we can expect anybody else to give us the respect due us.
Yeah. It's not gonna be easy.
And it's not. And I think that, like, pulling back from all of the heavy stuff, because we did drop a lot on y'all. Oh, we turned out serious, real serious. We also need to celebrate our wins. Like, what? Like, my big thing is, if you're an entrepreneur out there, you defy the odds, babe. You defy the odds every day. Because the girlies that quit their 9 to 5
Can't
say,
wait.
no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make content, you defeat the
I need
odds
some of
every
that.
day.
I can't
I need
wait.
some of that.
Like
Awesome.
the world, all of to my black men specifically, because y'all
Love y'all.
the world and statistics show that y'all should be out of here by like 25.
That's heavy.
You need to be living, thriving.
Ooh, that's
If
heavy.
there's something, and then a lot of for the people in the black community, do what your plan A is. If your plan, first of all, plan B's are for if you don't believe in the plan A, and I believe, and I know that they believe that your plan A gonna work. So do your plan A and celebrate the steps that are needed to get your plan A. And I feel like once we celebrate us the way that we're supposed to be celebrated, throwing our little half birthday parties, like that's when we can really get into the unity and get into the justness and being able to do the work that's needed because we are celebrating ourselves and coming from a celebratory place and being like, yeah, no, we did that.
Look at you shining, black man. Look at you shining, black woman. Oh, I see you. All right, cousins.
And then celebrating everybody. Let's throw that spice in there.
Yeah, and I will.
Everybody.
I love it. Like,
Because
that's my natural. That's how I am natural. Like, especially when I see us do anything. Oh yeah, but oh yeah, mama, you did that.
we did
Even
that.
down to you putting on something cute. Okay, black dress. I know that's right. And I'll be dead serious because who knows? That person may not have had a compliment from somebody for as long as they can remember. And maybe me talking about, okay, girl, you wearing that. Maybe that did something for her. Like maybe she was going through a bout with depression. Maybe she was feeling unpretty like I was last week. And then somebody just say one thing, you be like, oh, you're right. Wait a minute. I do got a little razzle dazzle. Let me get myself together. You never know who was like really on their 12th reason waiting for that 13th. And we can't afford to lose no more soldiers, no more kings, no more queens, no more brothers, no more sisters, no more of our children. We can't afford it. So we have to surround ourselves with each other. We have to come on in and protect what's ours. And we are ours. We got to do better. We got to stop beating each other down and being so negative. Like there's is what you say, and then there's how you say it. You can still give the criticism without, baby, you might as well tie it up. I don't even know why you wasting your money in there. Like, what was that for? Because what did you gain from doing that to that person? I'll wait.
That is my favorite question. Now, how do we move forward? After you done did what you was gonna say, do what you was gonna do, how do we move forward? Because now you just put negativity in a situation that didn't deserve it.
And if you don't have an answer to the how we move forward, keep your bubble quiet.
Kill it.
Thank you.
And I think that this conversation is definitely going to be a long conversation when it comes to like multiple layers of the conversation.
Facts.
And given that it is Black History Month, we definitely like our live videos with y'all. It's going to be a group discussion on like how the revolution is televised. This is just the introduction. Like this is like surface level what we love from y'all. But the last and final like question, and really it's just a piece of advice to people is what would you tell your inner activist? Right? Because I truly believe that everybody is an activist in their own right. Like we might not be an activist for the same thing. Because some of y'all, the PETA folks, y'all activists, and y'all be
everybody that had that PETA energy, baby, they don't.
Y'all serious. Y'all serious about your activism. But
some of y'all are roaches.
That was her, y'all. That wasn't me. Please don't come over here. Please don't come over here.
Y'all, the PETA people, I love y'all. I really do. But like, yeah, I guess. Don't kill yourself out there in the streets. But
calm down a little bit though.
Please just like packaging yourself in the meat packages is crazy. Okay? Like came up with that. I don't know what you was doing, girl, guys.
We need to shift our creativity somewhere else.
You need a raise, because who in the world?
Everybody's so creative.
So creative. You can just put it on a t-shirt. You're just gonna really saran wrap yourself,
and then get the vacuum to suck the air out. But you know what? Your protest is your protest, babes. You
right.
Ain't that. But to round us off, what is one thing you would tell your interactivists? Like, and that this could come from several angles. It could be something to motivate you. It could be something to keep you going. It could be something to even ignite your fire. But what would you tell that interactivist?
I would just say stand firm in your beliefs. Do your research. Make sure that you know all sides of situations. And then just go with your move. Like stand 10 toes on your decision, on your beliefs, period.
Mm-hmm.
Stand on business.
Stand on business.
I stand on big business.
Standing on it.
Oh, let me see. And this is just, I'm very tough, but I have a silver lining. And when it comes to my activism, I like to keep the silver lining because, but I truly believe that love is the way out. I feel like that's the one form, like expression form
universal
that we have not used when we're talking about activism. A lot of it is, standing on business and having power and having pride, but nobody has love. Nobody has compassion and understanding. How do we plan to move forward if we're not even willing to listen?
That's true.
So for me, for my inner activist, is always move with love.
I like that.
I love that. And then my inner activist, she been out of in these streets forever.
Yeah, okay. She got bootstrapped. You hear me?
I would tell my inner activists to keep doing the damn thing. Because to me, if you keep doing it, you're going to see results, right? I know that, like, me and my sister used to joke all the time and be like, I don't know how they was out there with a million-man march walking from Alabama to DC. Three-piece suits. Like, it's so easy to be like, I don't know how they would do that. I ain't never gonna do that. But we stand on the shoulders of giants who walked in sweltering heat.
They did. For
a purpose, right? Yeah. So keep doing the damn thing. If you're a business owner, keep building your business. Yes. The crowd is going to come. Like, it's going. First of all, the crowd is going to come, and when they put their mouth on your food or when they grab your product, they're going to have a life-changing moment, babes.
Period. Like,
if you're an artist, keep going to those open mic nights. Keep going and putting out your music, babes. Somebody gonna grab it and be like, I love
somebody.
And then, of course, to our fellow podcasters, our fellow girlies who are in the media, put out your content.
Please.
Put out the content. Put out the content because we need it.
What SZA say? The fear of looking stupid is holding you back.
It's a word.
And with that right there, we about to exit out of the group chat and let you think about it. We're gonna let you think about it. Okay.
Set it up. Y'all know where we at. Holla.
Right.
Like the world.
Step into the group chat.
Group chat now.